Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk to you about fire damage and what to look for as you tour your property. Coming up. Hi everyone, this is Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy, and on this channel we give you health and wealth tips to help you be successful. And today we're going to go over what to do when you have a house fire. I'm going to give you some examples of the types of damage you want to look for in your house. That way you can be better prepared to deal with the insurance company, the construction company, and the adjusters that will be working on your property. I'm going to start off by going room by room and going over some of the damage that I see so that you can know what exactly you need to bring up so that your adjuster or your insurance company doesn't miss it. Now remember, they're humans also, they make mistakes. So they may actually miss something. So you want to make sure that you mention things they may not have noticed. I, for example, had items stolen off my house after the fire. Someone actually came and physically tore my fence off. They stole some of the items out of my garden, and all those things are covered by the insurance company. But they would never know to include them in the offer if I would not go through and point that out to them. So I'm gonna have to go do some documentation, maybe get some receipts, look for old pictures, and then that will help me plead my case with the insurance company. So let me know if you have any questions. You can see the fence here was torn out, possibly by the fire department. And then somebody came by and stole our metal gate. Now you can see the fire damage there that caused damage to the stucco. So all of that stucco has to be removed all the way around. All that wood molding around the windows. The windows were vinyl, so those have to be removed because they're melted. The roof is burned, and that means the roof and the shingles have to be removed, and it's only burned on the front and the back. But because it's an old house, the whole top of the building is gonna have to be cut off and replaced because it won't fit the new building codes. Now there's the vent for the water heater. It got broken off. And then this structure here was damaged by termites, but it was intact. So someone may have stood on it or something and caused it to break here. You can see where it fell apart. Here's the basement. It's dark in there, so I won't go in there. There's no electricity in the building. The door is swollen, so you can't get in. Or you can get in, but it's difficult to get in. All the insulation came down and there's smoke damage throughout. Again, here's the fence that's missing. On the other side here, you'll see that our fence got damaged here by the fire department. Got knocked down. Against an old fence, but the insurance will have to pay to replace it. There's where all our electricals turned off by the fire department. And then we had a lot of damage to our garden, and the insurance, even though we don't have content damage, they cover a garden. So we did have a garden here. As you can see, there's a lot of debris from the fire. So this fire, the firemen dumped everything onto the plants here. Of course, they were just doing their job, or putting out the fire. It's expected, but all our plants are damaged, so the insurance will be reimbursing for these. And we can't move any of this because it has asbestos and lead, so it's toxic, so it has to be thrown out a certain way. Now here's the front of the house. It's the same, much worse than the back because the fire originated in that room there. So again, you can see the stucco that's damaged, you can see the wood that's damaged, the roof got damaged, the molding around the windows melted, the one next to it you can see it burst. And then there's collateral damage down here to the garden. There's the AC unit that was hanging from the window, it's melted there. Get a closer look here at the AC unit. see it's been completely melted, and there were 6 of them in the house. Everybody had one in their own bedroom. Now even the ones that weren't damaged are no longer good because they got smoke damage, and the house is positive for lead and asbestos. So this house was immaculate. The people lived here, had it in perfect shape. There's an AC unit there. And pretty much the house has to be gutted along with all of their personal items. So you can see here someone took some of their stuff out. They were warned not to, but it looks like they did. And according to the insurance, they have to gut the whole house. So all the walls will be removed, all the floors will be removed, all this furniture will be tagged and removed. And the reason being is that when they were putting out the fire, water got into all the walls. You can see the water damage there. And you can actually see it in all the rooms and the light fixtures. If you see that dark stuff there, that's all water in there. It's just settled in the light. That has a bulb in it. It's actually like that in all the rooms. You'll see here, this one's dark too. It's all water, and then there's smoke that got into there, so it turns dark like that. And there's the roof peeling from the water. So the water could cause mold and water damage. Consequently, all the walls have to be stripped. Seems like a waste, but that's what the insurance and now that there's lead and asbestos, because they tore open the walls. So here you can see again the water damage there, and you can see the roof, how everything was peeling off, and the bubbling there from the water. And again, there you can see better the water damage. See the water inside the light? So all the light structures have to be replaced. Okay, and the floors, there's buckling in it, and again, water damage. So you can see some of the water there. Now, this stuff looks really simple and unassuming. I mean, normally I could just clean these walls off. I've had tenants leave houses that are looking worse than this. And we just clean it. You just resand the floors, paint the walls. But as soon as there's asbestos and lead involved, it's a big mess. And it gets reported to the state, and they have all these requirements that have to be fulfilled. It really becomes a big pain in the butt. And here's all the wood carvings. I'm not sure what that's from. Apparently the fire department brought wood carvings, so that must be for some reason. And you can see here more water damage. And here's another room that has a little better light, and you can see that it's all intact. There's actually no damage in here that I can see. It all looks fine, other than it's messy and a lot of the big furniture's been taken out. I'm assuming the tenants must have taken it. But again, this all has to be stripped, unfortunately, even these beautiful red oak floors. Kitchen is the same, looks fine. Of course it's dirty because of the smoke. There was a lot of smoke in here, and water, and firemen and everything else, but it's intact. And I don't really see any damage in here, but the insurance has to gut it and throw it all in the trash. Even the appliances. So the appliances will be reimbursed minus depreciation. So this fridge here is about 4 years old. If I paid $1,000, they'll probably give me, let's say, $700 or something. They'll depreciate it. The kitchen and all this other stuff will be depreciated, but then they'll pay you back after you reconstruct and make a new kitchen. I guess that's the way the insurance works. Okay, now here we're gonna go up to the second floor, and the walls are all smeared here, probably from the firemen. It's kind of dark in here, there's no electricity. The floors are all full of dust and soot from the fires. So the stairs are all damaged, and there is the fire that started in this bedroom. And there, ironically, there's a no one used it, but there's a fire extinguisher. So we invest in fire extinguishers. We have them in all the houses, but I rarely see people actually use them. Now it's kind of dark in here, everything is burned. See, it's kind of like a skirt. It's white down here, and everything was white. Remember, the whole house was white. Here's the ceiling, completely burned. There's the lights. That window over there melted and burst just from the heat. Here's one of the bedrooms. Someone's property completely damaged. I've had fires before, and you cannot recover a single thing out of here. Not only because there's asbestos and lead, but also because the smoke, you can't get it out. You won't be able to get any of the smoke out of this stuff. It'll smell forever. You can wash these clothes 20 times and they'll still smell. Now, as you notice, there's some wiring there. There's a roof. The plaster came off and the doors are all gone. So the fire department probably just took them off. You know, their goal is not to preserve doors. Their role is to put the fire out as quickly as they can to prevent it from spreading to other houses. And obviously to save some of your property, because they did save some of it, otherwise the house would be completely gone. Now here's another bedroom. This is the bedroom that's adjacent, and you can see the fireman made a hole in the ceiling there. They do that to make sure there's no fire up in the attic. See, the windows are all shattered and melted. The heat caused the glass to crack, and then it melted the frames. And these folks were not very smart. They were told not to use candles. And there's candles there. There's another one there burning on a paper, and there's a stick there probably for incense. I mean, there's literally stuff in every room in this house that could cause fires. As you could see there on the mantle, these folks were burning candles right on the wood. That's not very smart. You can see the matchsticks there. There's a cigarette lighter. They're literally in every room. So again, here's another missing door. And then here's the hallway. This is probably the most disturbing place to look at. All the damage. This is where the fire was really going through, doing damage. Look what it did here to the outlets. The outlets were completely melted. Now I know there was a cat here that died, got burned in the fire. I don't know if it died from smoke inhalation or from, or just getting burned alive. There, the curtains are melted. The lights are all melted. Again, here's that lip I was telling you about. It's white, and then it turns to black on top. The French doors, there's a pile of the doors, and there's furniture out here burning. I guess, and there's someone's bed. Looks like the fireman moved it all out here to put it out. So here's more candles. More candles, and then there's a cabinet. Here's the roof, and then you can see here it looks like the solar panels may have been damaged just because of the heat. It causes them to melt. There's a break in the roof there, and the roof looks kind of wavy, so I think some of the beams below it were probably burned and destroyed. And here's a burnt door there and a bunch of other items that belong to these folks. And it's very unfortunate because not only did the house get damaged, the people who lived here lost all of their possessions, and now they're homeless. They lost their place to live, they lost their deposits. It's not good. And here's the room where the fire started. So this is the room that has the most extensive damage. You can see the outlet there. I'm not sure what that was. That was some kind of electrical device connected there, and it looks like a power strip, and you can't really tell what it is, but that's what it is. It's a power strip. It's completely melted. And there was their closet. The closet doors are gone. There's just a big gaping hole there, and you can see the electrical wiring in there in the wall. Some holes. I'm not sure why the firemen punched holes in these floors here. They might have been looking for fire. There's the walls there, and then that's the opening to the closet for the room next door. So someone's clothes were obviously burned out of there. There's the roof, and this is the room where the fire started. I believe it started here in the corner. The person that lived here lit candles and apparently went to bed, and the candle either got knocked over by the cat or it burned to the bud. That part I'm not sure, but it started on fire and it destroyed the house and burned everybody out of their home. Again, all the doors are missing here on the second floor. They took every door out, and this was the only room that was well preserved, and apparently it was because they closed the door on their way out. As you can see, again, more candles. You know, it's on all our lease agreements, and people are constantly told, don't burn candles. And there are the candles in every room. There's incense. You know, nobody really believes anything's going to happen until it happens. There's all the items that belong to the cat. I'm not sure how many cats here. My understanding is that multiple cats lived here, and as far as I know, only one died. Now there's a warping of the roof from the water. You can see all the moisture there. It just caused all the paint to collapse down. And then there's the glass. This is the room right next to the room that got burned. It got burst from the heat, caused all the glass to burst. So this room is in pretty much good shape. Although there is some smoke damage, and the floor is all damaged. And obviously all the items in here will not be recovered, just because there is too much smoke damage in here. So here's a trip down. As you can see, all of the outlets got burned. That's the light switch, it's gone. And the bathroom, I'll give you a peek, but you can't see too much. Everything's burned, damaged. Everything's black. Smells in here like a massive barbecue. And you can probably see some of these items here, they're all melted. There's like some rose water, body wash, and some other items here. All their creams and lotions got burnt. All this stuff is going to be trashed. It's completely useless because it's toxic. The thing about fires is that here's a cabinet. Once you have a fire, it's not wood you're burning. You're burning hundreds of different items. All sorts of different plastics, ceramics, papers, glues. You know, there's just a bunch of chemicals that go into making things. So once you burn them, it all gets released. And that's what kills people. Most of the people that die in fires are not killed by fires. They are killed by the smoke inhalation. Something like 70% of the people are killed by smoke inhalation. It's not from the fire. And that brings me to a good point. As you could see here, you see that line? That's why when you have a fire, you'll see it throughout the house. You never want to stand up and try to run out. You got to drop down and crawl out, so you're not breathing that stuff. Remember, heat rises and so does smoke. So if you drop to the ground and you crawl out on your knees, you're going to have a higher probability of surviving. As you can see from that smoke line there, that's about 4 feet. So the smoke was coming down about 4 feet. I'm 6'2". I don't even have to get down on my knees. I could crouch down and you could like duck walk out, and you'd still, you know, not have to suffer from smoke inhalation, at least the most part of it. But I would probably just get down to my knees just to be safe and just bail as quickly as you can. And that way you're not smelling all this smoke. The problem is that people panic and they stand up and then they start running out of the house and they're walking. And that's when they have problems, because they run in, they breathe all the smoke, and then they end up sick, and they sometimes pass out, and then they get overrun by the fire, and they get burned and they die. So it turns into something really tragic when it doesn't have to. Again, here's some more candles. There's one on top there. These folks really love candles. There's a cigarette lighter. There's a bunch of incense there. There's a small, looks like a sage stick. And then here's some more candles here. It's just really reckless behavior. So you don't want to be burning candles, especially in a 100-year-old wooden house. Here's more candles here. And then there's another candle. They're everywhere. So here's the front of the house. You can see the smoke damage there, where the smoke was billowing out of the front window there on the left. And it started damaging the stucco, and it started eating through the wooden beams as well as the roof above. Now off to your left, where that railing is the room where the fire started. The tenant left the candles burning, and I'm not sure if it got tipped over by the tenant or by her cat. And that hole there actually had French doors, which are gone now. And you can see where the fire went up and burned the lights, burned the roof, and started to damage the solar panels up on the roof. And as the fire department went in to put out the fire, they started dumping the debris out, like the burning beds and furniture, out into the garden so they can put it out. And that consequently killed a lot of the front garden here. And it also spread a bunch of toxic asbestos and lead into the garden. So all this has to be cleaned by an abatement company. This stuff has to be bagged and dumped in a specific dump site. It can't even be dumped into regular trash. And you can see there the cactuses that are burned from the fires.